y'all. Welcome back to my kitchen for another Super Sunday. Before we get started cooking, I just wanted to share a couple of things with you about myself. My name is Lisa. I'll be 49 years old this month. I am married to James, and together we have 3 children. Our oldest is 22, our middle child is 15, and the baby is 12. I also have recently retired from working as a nurse. I'm a labor and delivery nurse and have for a lot of years. So I understand you full-time working moms and dads out there who are trying to get meals on the table for your family that are kind of quick without spending too much money, and you're just tired of going through the drive-thru. But there's nothing wrong with the drive-thru. The drive-thru has sustained my family for a lot of years. We've spent our time there. But tonight, this is for you. If you are a working mom or dad and you need a quick meal that is delicious and hearty and warm for your family, you're gonna love this. It's chicken and dumplings, and it's gonna taste like your grandmother slaved over the stove all day making homemade pie crust for the dumplings. It's delicious. I promise you're gonna love it. So let's go over the ingredients and then we'll get to cooking. Okay, for your ingredients, you're gonna need 2 boxes of chicken broth, chicken stock. You don't have to get bone broth or stock. You can get the cheapest stuff you can find if that's what you wanna do. But anyway, you need 2 boxes of that. You're gonna need about a tablespoon of better than bouillon. And that really is kind of, if you don't have to throw that in. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. It's still gonna be good. I'll tell you why I'm using that later. You're gonna need 2 cans of chicken breast. I'm using this chicken breast from Costco. It's got a really good quality and texture to it. You're gonna need 1 can of cream of chicken soup and a little bit of pepper, 2 cups of water, and 1 box of pie crust. And these pie crusts have 2 rolls of pie crust in them. This is the Pillsbury brand. It's not the one I typically use. I usually buy the ones from Walmart. They're much cheaper, but I picked these up at Costco in bulk. So this is what I have. Anyway, so I think that's everything listed that we need. Oh, you'll need a little bit of flour to dust your surface for rolling out the pie dough. Okay. I think that's everything. Okay, the first thing you want to do is get your chicken stock and your water on to boil, because that's going to take a little bit to get it to a boil. Like I said, you can get the cheapest stuff that you can find. This is still going to be good. This recipe too can easily be doubled. Just make sure your stock pot's big enough to do that. We're going to go ahead and put the water in as well. I'm also going to go ahead and put in about a tablespoon of this better than bouillon. I use this in addition, and you don't have to, because it adds a little bit more of a chickeny flavor, and also it adds salt to it. So if you choose to use this, don't add salt to the recipe. So, anyway, we'll go ahead and add that in. And you want to add this in while your water is boiling or getting to boiling, because it needs the heat to dissolve. It's kind of almost like a putty. And while that's going, you can also go ahead and add in your cream of chicken soup. And like I said, the brands don't matter here. I usually buy from Aldi. I just happen to have this on hand, so we're using this today, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so after you get all that in, just give it a good whisk. Whoops, I'm all carried away. Okay, let me see if I can find a lid for that so it will cook a little faster, get to boil faster. All right, so now let's get those dumplings ready. I grew up eating chicken and dumplings, and I love them. Especially on a cold day, it seems like there's just has healing powers or something. So just dust the surface of your cutting board or your countertop, whatever you're gonna use. And you're gonna just gently unroll this. Kind of pat it down a little bit. Make sure both sides are covered with flour. The flour that sticks to this dough is what's going to kind of help your chicken and dumplings to kind of thicken up as it boils. If you have a rolling pin, you can use that. If you don't, just use your hands. Super easy. And you just want to roll it out a little bit. You don't have to go too thin with it. Okay. And that, I'm not sure if you can tell how thin, but it's just a little bit. Just roll it out a little bit. And I usually cut it with a pizza cutter, but my pizza cutter is in the dishwasher being washed. So just get a sharp knife instead. Okay. And you don't really have to be too fussy with the size or shape of your dumplings, but you don't want to cut them too terribly small. That's the only thing. But they don't all have to be uniform in size. Okay. I will say I have picky eaters in my house. Or maybe just one of us is picky. And it's the baby, of course. So, all right, now you have that all cut up. And what I like to do is just use a paper plate or a bowl to put it in. There's less mess to clean up afterwards. So just dump them all in there. They don't have to stay separated. They're floured, so they're not going to stick together. And while you're scraping these up, go ahead and add the flour. Don't worry about trying to dust the flour off of them. Like I said, you're gonna need that to help thicken the soup just a bit. Okay, so you got one done. Let's go ahead and do the other one. Check on this pot right quick. Okay, that's looking good. So really the most time-consuming part of this entire dish is just letting the dumplings simmer. That takes about 30 minutes. You just want to make sure that they're done on the inside. So you put your lid on and you simmer for, very gently simmer for about 30 minutes. Also, on the chicken, if you only have one can of chicken, totally fine. Some kids actually prefer more dumplings and less chicken on that ratio. That would be, that kid I'm talking about is my husband. I think that's how he likes it. So anyway, one can is fine. Okay, so that's about all that's going to hold. So while we're waiting on this to come to a boil, getting pretty close. All right. Okay, I'm just showing you how my dumplings look. See, they're all different sizes and shapes, and that's fine. Like I said, you just don't want any little tiny ones. And this is what the liquid is looking like. It might be a little, the one you see here is a little bit darker than what you've seen in most traditional chicken and dumplings, and it's because I use bone broth instead of just regular chicken broth. So it doesn't matter. Either one's going to be delicious. Don't get crowded and start sticking together when they get in there. So let's turn it up a little bit. You can see it's stopped bubbling, so I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Okay. And always go ahead and dump that flour in there that's left in the bowl. And I'm going to get some more. That's looking good. We're gonna put the rest of our dumplings in. Okay, now that we've got all our dumplings and everything in, I'm gonna just very gently stir it. You don't want these to stick on the bottom, so occasionally you wanna stir them in. Just a bit. And that flour you see floating on the top is eventually going to dissolve in. It'll be fine. Kind of helps thicken things up. Okay, so right now I'm going to turn the heat down. You do not want to overboil your dumplings because they'll just kind of fall apart and you'll have a big clump of dumpling. So I'm just going to turn it down to a slow simmer and I'm going to put my lid on. So still want to come back occasionally for 30 minutes and just very gently stir it, and then we'll put that chicken in after that. So another alternative to canned chicken, if that grosses you out, I know it does some people. Another alternative for that is rotisserie chicken, and I love going to Costco and getting their rotisserie chickens for $4.99. Sometimes I'll buy 3 or 4 at a time and bring them home and debone all of them, and I'll have that in the freezer for a long time. And then you can use the bones and the skin to make your own bone broth. So if that interests you, that's just another idea, something else you could do. I just want to show you what it looks like for a gentle simmer if you're curious. Not everybody is 100% on that. So you can see, hopefully, the little bubbles in there. It's not like in a full rolling boil, just very gently boiling. And that's perfect for dumplings. So the dumplings have been cooking for about 10 minutes now, and they're starting to fluff up a little bit and float to the surface. So I want to show you what that looks like. Oh, goodness. That looks yummy already. Okay, we're gonna keep cooking. Okay, so we just have about 5 minutes left on the dumplings. I just want to show you, to me, honestly, it looks a little thin, which means I didn't get quite enough of that flour in when I was putting the dumplings in. So I'm going to show you how to fix this if that should happen to you. You're going to take 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of flour. And you're going to mash that up together. Ooh, sorry, I'm trying to hold the camera at the same time. So you're just going to mash that up together until it's crumbly. And while your dumplings are still, simmering, you want to go ahead and add that in. So here we have our crumbles. You see that? We're just going to kind of sprinkle them over the top here. And stir. And that over, see, it's got a few minutes left. So as that's cooking down, it should thicken up too. Okay, that looks really nice and thick and rich. So let's go ahead and add in our chicken. And you can just put the juice in and see it's got a little fat floating on top there. Let's just get all that in. And actually, I think I'm gonna break this up just a bit. And we'll do that just right in the can. That'll save us from making a mess on the cutting board. Less dishes. Okay. If you like the big chunks, just leave it like it is. I kind of like the smaller, shredded like chicken. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Add in our other can. Ooh. I'm kind of a purist when it comes to chicken and dumplings. The only season I'll add to it, unless it needs salt, which it usually doesn't, but I'll add pepper and that's it. So I don't want any garlic or any foreign substances like onions in my chicken and dumplings. I want it to be just chicken and dumplings. I think it's the best way that way. Okay. Get all that in. All right, so we're gonna give that a stir. Oh, this is really thickening up nicely. Meow. Hi, Sush. How are you doing? Y'all see Sushi down there? Say hi. Hi, Sushi. You smell chicken and dumplings too, huh? Yeah. Yeah. You think you're gonna get some, but you're not. All right. So the last thing we need to add here is just some pepper. And then I think we can all eat. All right. What do you think? That looks pretty yummy. Okay, let's get these to the island and serve them up. Okay, y'all, here goes. Looks delicious. We are ready to eat over here. So I hope y'all enjoyed this. Let me know what you think. So while the kids are finishing up a game upstairs with their dad, I am sitting on the couch with Penny and we're gonna enjoy these chicken and dumplings. As soon as she smells these, she'll be in my lap. Y'all have a good night.